Turned on some Persian classical music to give a little ambiance. Get going soon. Wait a little while. See if a few more people can come in. Hey Charles, good afternoon. It's pretty late here, but you know, kind of a night owl as it is, so today it was pretty cold in Warsaw. It's been an unseasonably cold May here, so that wasn't so nice. But I mean, I don't really mind the cold actually. It's just that I didn't bring a coat because I was assuming that it was going to be pretty warm here, and it is not. So. I'm playing this music in the background. I hope it doesn't get me like some kind of copyright strike. I don't think that this music is the kind of thing that is copyright strikeable, but you never know because some of this music has like weird ownership. That like will trigger something in YouTube where, it's like, shut it down, you're using some kind of music that, yeah, it's pretty far. pretty amazing how far things are, how big the world is sometimes. I mean, even just America is like huge. People, I think, kind of forget that. So, oh, hey Mike, how you doing? Figure it's Friday night, probably a good chance to do this again. I was kind of missing playing this because I feel like we've got some interesting stuff happening in the campaign world. And, yeah, so... And the other good thing about this set of rules is, like, it's pretty simple to roll up new characters as we encounter them. So... Alright, I'm gonna... If I can find some kind of, like, instrumental music that could play in the background, I might do that. But now we're doing like something that's like a real quest.
Keep going, don't worry. I will just pass here. Hey guys.
Yes, my wife may join us. Oh, better get my get all of my the encounter tables and stuff open. Let's see here. We need monsters and treasure. Classic monsters. Okay, I have the player's handbook on my tablet. Actually, no, it's easier to control F stuff on the PC, so I'll do that. And then... Where's the stuff? Oh, I think it must have gotten kicked down in my frequently used files. No, wait, here it is. The DMG, the NPC generation, and counter tables. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I think that's everything. Oh, that's frustrating, Charles. Yeah, I hope you could find something. But used cars are pretty expensive because I've been looking not to buy a new one anytime soon, but like my current vehicle doesn't have air conditioning, so it's like thinking, well, maybe I could just get something simple, but the people are asking crazy prices for used cars now. Especially if it's something that's halfway decent. And like the Facebook marketplace in Columbus is full of people that are like trying to get rid of these completely like barely functional cars, and yeah, it's not easy. Okay, one thing for the campaign, I might need to do XP because I wasn't really tracking that closely. So this is a mistake I made. So we might need to look at that to see which of our characters need XP. For Divinicus the Scribe, I don't think he'll get XP because, like, again, he's not like a player character. Unless I make like a class that's the Scribe with no combat abilities whatsoever. Or something. But let's see, Knight. Because I think you start, how many? Okay, no, they wouldn't even be probably close to leveling up, unless the Castle Keeper's Guide for this system says differently. But let's see. I should probably do this off air. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could make it, at 10th level you become a lesser vizier, or, well, in this world the Jagiellonians wouldn't have a vizier, but something like that. A lesser senior official, and then you can, roll for scheming. You have a scheming ability to, I don't know, something like that. I wish I had the world map. I forgot to bring that with me here, because that would give at least a nice colorful backdrop. And I was trying to get this set up where I could use my phone as an external camera, and then have the streaming thing open to switch between different pages. Yeah. That's a good question, Mike. I mean, bureaucracies are full of different titles. Hi, Will. Did I ever do any wargaming about roads? No, but I would like to. The main limitation, because I did do a pretty big research project on roads, still hasn't been published yet. I'm kind of annoyed about that, but that's a different story. But I have not done it just because I need to mock up a table that would look appropriate, and I would also be scaled appropriately. Today I did learn that there's a paper craft, there's paper terrain that has the star fort that I could turn into the Rhodes city. And then I would have to probably, figure out how to do it to get it to look right. I probably have the miniatures to do that in 15 millimeter at this point, for early mid 16th century roughly miniatures, because I have some of the actual hospitallers with muskets from Coruscant, and I have some other things, and my Ottomans would be enough to do roads, but yeah, it's mostly just terrain. And the other thing is that I would have to come up with rules to make the underwall mining work. I don't think that would be too difficult, but something to do that, because that was a big part of the siege. And then another thing would be to incorporate the naval aspect, because that was pretty important, the Ottoman supply. And there was potential that the Hospitallers might have gotten a relief fleet, but the Ottomans were pretty smart, and they timed it so, because there's in the Ottoman archives, there's an intelligence report where it talks about how one of their informants says, okay, the French and the Habsburgs are fighting and the wording is kind of funny. It's with this guy named Pope, anyway, but so they timed it during the Italian Wars where there wouldn't be intervention, but that would be an interesting kind of what if, maybe. What scale of buildings? Yeah, I'd probably use 15 or something appropriate to a 15 millimeter scale. I've also thought about, because they make, I think it's, Renindra has the Star Fort that has, for 28 millimeter, I think, but it would probably look better with 15s because that's most of my collection. So that's what I would do. And I think I was on Little Wars TV. They talked about there's a guy that goes to some of the HMGS conventions, or there was at one of those HMGS conventions one year, a guy that either did Rhodes or Malta and had like a big island table. But the thing is my terrain building skills are not very good. So that's that's kind of my limitation. And I don't really have the space to like be cutting like foam board and stuff. I don't have a garage. So that's another kind of limitation. Okay, we might get started with the game. So I think I'll just calculate the XP later because I don't want to take up time on here just doing like basic math. All right. And Telemachus may join. I don't know. He is in the Discord. We were chatting, so I don't know. But anyway, regardless, we can get started. I mean, I like the Hobby Lobby, like, diorama stuff. That's you know, like the trees, like, because the pack of the Hobby Lobby trees, like, they give you quite a few, and for 15 millimeter, they're, like, pretty much perfect size. Okay, all right, where do we leave off? Okay, so our trio is got healed up, so... Well, if you're still with us, since you're new, so the setup to this campaign is we have the Kingdom of Jagalon has a new fort, and they're protecting this steppe village. They built the fort, and the current so each fort has a knight, cleric, and a scribe that's like in charge, and then there's like a garrison of troops. And so the guard, the three people in charge are being changed, and that's where we have our player characters. So we've got our knight Shandor, and we've got our cleric Lucian, and then we have our treasurer, or I think scribe is better. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but we've got our treasurer / scribe Divinicus. He's not doesn't have a class, but I did roll stats for him. And it's going to take 8 days, 8 days by boat to get to the fort by a river. And we've had some stuff happen, and a few encounters. We picked up another player character, a nomad, who we named Sia. He's got some camels, kind of a trader, but he's a rogue. And we reached a village, and we're going to go do a favor for the local clerics since they healed us, and we are joined, our characters are joined by another cleric named Imre. So we've been given a mission. So it's day 5, it's 9 a.m. And Sia goes to the market, and then Imre heals Shandor and Lucian, and then they need to go to these marsh there's some marsh bandits on the river nearby. They stole a relic from the monastery, and they're gonna go. But Imre's brother Imre said that we need to replace it with a fake relic so that the marsh bandits don't like come back and attack us, attack the town, because it's not very well defended. So that's what we're doing. But we need to think about a couple things, like how far away is the marsh village, because the map I drew, so we have, hopefully that's legible, but so we've got, there's the river. It's not a huge town. I rolled this on the 1E D&D kind of generation tables. You've got some farms on the river. There's the clerical lodge. So, at one time this was like a missionary lodge or monastery, and then the community kind of grew up around it. And there's the river, and probably the marshes are like kind of in along the river, maybe back this way or that way. I wonder how I should handle that. How far away is it? I think we should randomly generate that. Let's see. So we have, well, I'll give a direction first. So let's see, for north, D4, yeah. So I guess north would be 1, west, east would be 2, south would be 3, west would be 4. So let's give a direction here. Okay, so it's to the east. And how many miles? Maybe we should do a D20. Okay, so the marsh bandits are situated 14 miles to the east. Okay. And how far, because I made a note of how far you can travel by horse. How far can you travel by horse per day? Okay, between 20 to 35 miles in a day. And that's, okay, 25 to 35 miles. All right, well, I'm gonna note that down, but our player characters don't really know that at this point, how far away they are, but I will make a note of this. Where am I? Gonna find my pencils here. Just a second. Oh, they're there. Okay, so I don't remember what I called this. Giachodor. Yeah. Slow if you have to stop to graze, faster if you carry fodder. Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. Because the other complication is so, like, our knight Shandor has his warhorse, but kind of luckily, since Sia the rogue has 2 camels, conceivably he would ride a camel and then somebody else could ride the other camel. But that would leave, we would need 2 horses, or some other kind of mount. Because on foot, I probably should get the Castle Keeper guide for this game, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. Let's see. How far can you march in a day? Okay, there's there's a Reddit answer about early, like, pre-modern armies marching. So one of these answers on Reddit, which I'm inclined to take with a grain of salt, but it makes sense. Elevation gain will be a biggest factor, slowing march. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking since this is like by a river, it's probably mostly flat lands, so I don't think we'd encounter that issue. Okay, so basically some of the answers, it's anywhere from like 9 to 14 miles and to 13 and a half miles in a day, and that's with an army. So 15 to 20 miles, yeah, that makes sense. But that's like a whole army. I mean, we would just be like a small group. So I don't think that would be a big problem. On a flat with 40 pounds. Okay, thanks, Mike. Yeah, that's helpful. Okay, so basically, they're like a day's march away, more or less, and probably like slightly less if we have mounts in armor carrying weapons and shields. Yeah, that makes sense. Let me look in the player book, because how far movement. This is like combat movement. This isn't like a campaign movement. Okay, equipment. Yeah, I need to find, where's the animal page? Yeah. Well, wait a second. If it's to the east, we could take a small boat. Because the river runs east. So, and they're in the marsh. We know they're in the marsh. Okay. So, well, there's 2 ways that our characters could do this. They could go over land on foot, or they could take a canoe, like a smaller boat, and yeah, they're gonna find a boat. Yeah, we'll just find a boat, and then there would still be potential for encounters. Okay, so Imre gave them this job, and at 9:30, so Sia comes back from the marketplace. Imre and Lucian and Shandor discuss this, and they've told Sia, since he is a paid contractor, so he'd have to walk away if he doesn't want to do this, that, they're going to go find these marsh bandits, and maybe Sia knows something actually, because he's a nomadic trader, so he might know something about these people. All right. So let's see. He would need to make a wisdom check, and his wisdom is pretty good. I don't think this would be a particularly challenging thing, so I think this would just be like CR1. So 10 plus his wisdom bonus gives him 12, and then he's level 1, so that's another 1. Or no, I think that's just bonus base to hit. Hang on a second. Oh, bonus. Yeah, that's just bonus to hit. Okay, so that would give him 12. So yeah, so that would be a success. So Sia does know roughly where these marsh bandits are, and he thinks he's heard something that these guys like to steal these kinds of relics and antiquities. And he knows roughly where they are, but not quite, so he could kind of guide them. And he knows that they're about 15 miles, about a day's travel on foot down the river to the east. And so, he's getting paid, so he's going to accompany them. But he does ask Divinicus, will he get hazard pay? And he's going to try to persuade Divinicus, because he says, look, I was hired as a guard on the boat, but now you're kind of giving me this away mission. So I guess we're going to do a little like PvP almost. Okay, so that would be charisma, which is a 12, but it is one of his prime stats, so maybe he's got something. No, and Divinicus says, no, we have a contract, you're paid as 2 gold pieces a day as a contractor to the Kingdom of Jagalon. That's our standard rate for security work. Sorry, no hazard pay. And Sia is a little frustrated, but he is getting fed on the boat. He is able to sell his stuff. So it's not so bad. Okay. So I think our characters are going to make a market trip into the town to gather some items. They will have to hire a boat, which I don't know how much that would cost. But, well, I don't know. Like, people probably, they could take the big boat, but that would be too ostentatious. And they don't want the bandits to flee they would probably see the big boat and attack it, or it wouldn't really make sense because they want something a little more subtle, I guess. And probably they couldn't quite go overland because eventually they'd reach like the marshes. So okay, maybe I'm overthinking this, but all right. Just trying to make the world, sort of realistic. Verisimilitude, that's the fancy word. Okay. I don't think the player book for Castles and Crusades has, like, the prices for this kind of service. So, but they do need other equipment. So I think on our track of time, on our day 5 log, I think everyone goes to the market to get some equipment, so get some supplies. So let's see. So we'll say at about, well, we'll say the maybe they stop to have like a late morning meal or something on the boat, and then at 10:30 go to the town market for supplies, and I think because all right, let's go to our where's the equipment page? Equipment, here we go. I don't think anyone needs weapons because everybody has their own weapon, so I think we just mostly need. Oh, okay, they could buy a boat outright, so I think I'll use that price for how much it would cost them to rent it. Like a rowboat or a small boat, canoe, small boat is 250 GP. That's a lot of money. Okay. But our player characters are going to buy some gear, so I didn't do all this like small equipment during character creation, but I'm just going to assume that all of our player characters have a backpack or some kind of large, traveling bag that they can carry on their back or shoulder. But they haven't needed, equipment because they've been on the boat. So I think, all right, I have to do some. I will deduct things later, so I'm just going to write down. So we have Imre, that's 1, Shandor, Lucian, and Sia, so that's 1, 2, 3. That's 4 canteens. That's 6 gold pieces. Boy, canteens are two gold pieces in Castles and Crusades. That's kind of a lot for, a water bottle. But anyway, and those hold a half gallon of water. I mean, they are in a river, so like water would not necessarily be a problem. Poda yeah. Flint and steel. I think Sia will buy one of those. That's 1 GP. Grappling hook, hammer, holy symbol, incense, horn, lodestone. There's bandages. Bandages for 2 wounds. Okay, I think everyone will buy. I think we'll buy 10 bandages, because that would be 1 GP. And then those would be shared between the two clerics. Then do we need any other kind of equipment? Large tent, a medium tent. Water skins. No, I think that about does it. Yeah, I think that about does it for gear that they would need. Okay, so I see marbles are listed on here. So I think Sia is going to buy a bag of marbles. Because he thinks maybe, because he's chaotic neutral, so maybe he can buy the he's thinking while they're shopping, maybe he can when they get the real relic back and replace it with the fake relic, he can come back and use the marbles and claim that they're a better relic, and then try to trade it for the fake relic, and then resell the fake relic. Probably, the god of this world is going to punish him, but, he's chaotic, so he's like, maybe I can make some money off this. Little simony, but anyway. Okay. So then they finish their business in the market. They buy these supplies. Actually, is there rations on here? Because what if they get stuck out there? That would kind of, let's see. Don't see rations. It's probably here somewhere. Vellum, wool socks, ink, or even if it's just like bread or something, I don't know. Transport and tack, missile weapons, we don't need weapons, we're kind of all set. Provisions, here we go. Let's just need to scroll down a little further. Tobacco, lodging at a good inn, a block of cheese, it's 2 silver. Here we go. Rations for a week. Okay, I think everyone will buy, I think everyone's going to buy 3 days of rations. And that will be 5 silver from 4 people. That's 20. So that's two gold pieces. So, oh no, wait, that's 1 day. 20 silver times 3, that would be 60 silver. So 6 gold pieces. So 3 days rations. That's 6 GP. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to write it down individually on everyone's page, so I'm just going to do it like that. Okay, so that's our equipment, and then I think now we can get into, so this shopping probably only takes like about a half hour. So now we're going to go, at 11, we're going to go try to find a boatman at the waterfront to hire. 11 a.m. So, okay, so we go to the waterfront, and there's a number of boatmen, and we need to hire a small boat. So, I don't think would necessarily roll for if there is one, because this is like a river town. So yeah, there's probably a boatman, but what kind of boatman do we run into? This is where the fun begins. Okay. So he would be like merchant or trader, probably. Well, or a laborer. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have to be. He could just like pilot the boat. So, okay. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's see. We need a name for our boatman. And he's piloting a small boat, so Volga. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good name. Okay, Volga the boatman. All right, what is his alignment? Lawful good. Well, that's nice. And his possessions, he has average possessions. Appearance, he's ancient. Okay, maybe he's the same age as Brother Imre. Maybe he's been here a long time. In general, he is dandyish. All right.
Is this guy called Volga like the river in Russia?
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, sanity. That's a 7. He's neurotic. Man, we've had like 3 neurotic characters in a row. Okay. His general tendencies. Okay, this is one of those funny 2-column things. Okay, so we do the right-hand column, I think. And 2, that's 15. So he's opinionated and contrary. Personality. He is, okay, so he's we're looking at the average list, and he's hostile. Oh, okay. I guess that kind of goes along with being contrary. Disposition, go back to D10. That is, he's morose. I don't know. I mean, you guys know I'm a Call of Cthulhu guy, so sometimes I think it's fun to have insane player, NPC or something in a game like this. I guess that's why I, sometimes I get kind of annoyed with like high fantasy because it's like, I think it's okay in a fantasy world to have like very good characters that are like fighting against evil, but like anything else, the world can kind of become like two-dimensional, anyway. Okay, he's morose. What is his intellect? His average intellect. Nature. That's a D6. He is hard-hearted. Okay. Materialism. Covetous. Honesty. Going back to D8. Very honorable. Okay. So he's kind of rude but he's sort of got a heart of gold, I guess. Bravery. He is craven, so he's not very brave. Morals, sorry. Oh, that's D12. He is normal. Okay. Piety. Average piety. Okay. Energy. D8. He is lazy. Thrift. He's average thrift. Some of these columns seem kind of redundant. Like, why do you need thrift and, like, materialism? I mean, it's not exactly the same, but anyway. Gygax he was figuring it out. It's okay. It's understandable. Okay. Interests. Okay, so we roll in the left-hand column, and that's 10. It's into handicrafts. Okay. Okay, so we've got our boatman, Volga. We don't need to do languages in this situation. And we don't really need height and weight. He's like an older guy. He's probably kind of like smaller, slender build, maybe. Pretty sunburnt because he's working on the water every day. I don't think we need to roll for that stuff on this. Okay, so we go... Now, I could do the encounter reaction table, but I don't want to roll, like, violent, because that really wouldn't make sense. Well, we'll roll, and if I decide that it's not going to work... I mean, this is kind of like not Castles and Crusades rules, so we're kind of experimenting here. That would be 68. Okay, so that would be uncertain, but 55% prone toward positive. That would fit. So, okay, so we go, and since this guy's pretty old, he's probably the same generation as Imre. So Imre says, okay, I know a boatman. If we want to take up a small boat, I know a boatman that can take us, and you know, we can, you know, he can take us. Your companion Sia knows where these guys are better than we do. So, yeah. So they go. They see Volga the boatman. Imre takes him to Volga the boatman. He's on the wharf area, and he's got a not quite a like a long ship or something like that, but kind of like a large rowboat, but definitely much smaller than like what they're on, like the big cargo riverboat. So probably like the size of like a, I don't know, like a small cabin cruiser or something, but wood, and probably has like some small sails and with not rows but paddles. Anyway, and so they go and try to talk him into hiring him to go to the marshes to the east. And he's dandyish, so he's wearing like an Eastern kind of green and gold textiled tunic, but he says he's an old guy, and he says, "What do you want?" He clearly doesn't have a lot of respect for the two clerics, and he says, "I don't know." And Shandor approaches him first and says, "Sir, I'm a knight of the kingdom of Jagalon, to which I assume you are a subject. We would like to hire you, and our scribe, who is not with us, but will, assure you that you will be paid for your services today." And he says, "I don't know. I don't know about this. Imre, he tried to get me to do this kind of thing when we were younger, and I don't know. I know it's supposed to be Brother Imre, but whatever." And Sia notices his green and gold tunic. He knows the fabric, actually. He knows exactly what city in the east it comes from. And he says, "Excuse me, Bey Effendi. Not only my companions can pay you, but I'm a trader. I could get you another fine silk. I could get you another fine silk to produce into another cotton. I can get you a purple, a fine aquamarine, a fine turquoise, even something with gold lace. I know where to find it." And so he's trying to persuade Volga, the boatman, and well, we'll see if our nomad, our rogue, is successful. No, it's a 1. Okay. So Volga looks at him and says, "You are a total liar. I don't believe any of this. In fact, I saw you in the market. I'm sure you were ripping people off in the market earlier. No one should do business with you. You're one of these wandering traders that comes through, and you think you can do this to me." And I think Shandor, despite being a level-headed, he's a member of the aristocracy, low aristocracy, but he is, he's tries to keep calm and keep a decorum. I think he's frustrated because he tried to get rid of the Knoll problem a few days ago. He didn't do that, and I think now he really wants to make good on keeping the realm safe, especially on the frontier. So I think he's going to kind of get up close to the boatman and say, no, sir, you will be taking us. In fact, according to the laws, the laws of the kingdom, I may even demand you give service to a military expedition with, of course, fair compensation. So you must do this. And I think we'll go ahead and roll if that would be charisma. I don't know if Shandor actually has exceptional charisma, but okay, 15. So he would get, and it is a prime, so he would get what is that? So what would that bonus be? I think that would be a +1. Yeah, +1. So our knight is going to basically intimidate him, and that would be a 13, and it's a prime, so that would be a success. So the boatman straightens up and says, yes, sir. Well, yes, I'll do it. But you better pay me. And Shandor looks at him and says, of course, but in a kind of harsh way. And they will pay for his services. Now, I don't know how much I should set that, because the prices in the rule book for like the transportation, I think it's like to buy the physical boat. I mean, we're not buying the boat, we're just paying for labor for him to pilot it down the river. How should I do this? I think I think I'll just come up with a number for now, and we'll pay him 20 gold pieces for the day. Now, okay, so now I think in the party it would come to a discussion of how to do this. Because Shandor looks at Sia and says, perhaps we could go in by night, and our companion is probably more adept at stealth and going in and just stealing it, but we don't know what house it would be in, and fumbling around in the dark may not be advisable. And Lucien, even though he's a cleric, is a bit, probably not like super gung-ho about fumbling around in the dark in a marsh. So he says that I don't think it would be wise to go in at night. But I think I'll do another wisdom check for Sia, if he knows like the habits of the marsh people. 16, so yes, that's a success. So he says, the marsh people, yes. Well, during the day, they're out fishing typically, or as the case is with our bandits, like the one Zaid we encountered, they're out prowling the river to assault boats. But I think that it's best we go during the day, and we look around the village. Even I could go in alone. Usually during the day, it's the elders and mostly the women and some of the teenage boys that are doing the sort of home tasks and chores in these marsh villages. So perhaps I should go first, and maybe we don't have to use force to do this. Yes, but I think it's advisable we set out now not to lose any daylight. But how long would that take to go? I mean, that would probably depend on the current. I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to get into all those details, but okay, how fast is a rowed canoe? Okay, a rowing canoe or a narrowboat can reach about 3 to 4 knots. Oh, here we go. Angus Rowboats website. Speed comparison of kayaks, rowboats, canoes, sups, and pedal boats. Okay. Well, this is probably like a small boat with like a sail. So, like a sail and paddles. Okay, a small sailboat, depending on its type, is about 3 to 15 knots, 3 to 17 miles an hour. Okay, so they could do so. All right, so I'll just say that they can reach this village in about an hour, give or take, with the current and wind and all that. So roughly an hour. Okay. So so Sia, we've rolled that Sia knows the village, knows kind of their habits from being in this area frequently for his trading business. And so they say, well, there's really no time to lose. We should get there while the kind of most of the men are out doing fishing or banditry or whatever the case may be. Okay, so we'll say it by 12. Everybody's gotten situated. They've sent word back to the main ship that they're going to do this away mission. So at 12 p.m. Set out for the Marsh Bandit village. Maybe we can resolve this one without some combat or some kind of crazy encounter, but we'll see. The dice in this game have produced some interesting outcomes. Okay, so do I want to roll for an encounter on the water? Because it's an hour, And this is a well-trafficked area of the river. You know, it's basically just going down the river a little ways. But, you know, whatever. Let's roll. We'll see what we get. And since I am the GM, I can just say I don't like the result and roll something else. Okay. We need to go to the deep shallow. That's underwater encounters. We just want like a large body of water. What is this? This is dungeons, I think. I don't know if I want like actual dungeons in this world. Maybe a few, but not very common. Deep water. Psionic encounters. Castles. Here we go. Waterborne encounters. Counter occurs 1 in 20. Check morning, evening, and midnight. Yeah, Mike, that was kind of what I was thinking. More like an abandoned like city that's above ground. I mean, because then you would still have like some close quarters areas, obviously, but it's more like a necropolis rather than like a dungeon. Because, you know, I've always been the kind of annoying person that's like, yeah, but why are the dungeons there? But I mean, there probably are dungeons in this world because, like, my idea is that it's sort of like many times removed from like a high tech world, and you know the magic that does exist is like some of that old technology, and there probably would be some like ancient dungeons that were, I don't know, bunkers or something like that. You know, anyway. Okay, let's go and roll. Let's see. Okay, do we run into anything while we're going to the village? 56. And that is a merchant. So I think we just row past him, or we sail past him. Don't really have any need to stop. But you know. Okay, so we encounter a merchant en route, and then we will, I think we sail down the river, we pass this merchant boat, and then Sia is like helping Volga direct him to where he thinks this particular village is, and the boat kind of shifts course slightly and goes into this marsh area, and the boat that Volga has is kind of like a shallow draft for this kind of waterway, so they go into the marshes, and then they do start to reach the marsh village, and the marsh people live on like kind of both real and artificial islands that they built, and they have like some straw huts, straw or kind of like clay huts that they built up, and the boat is wouldn't be an unusual sight for these people because they do deal with traders coming through, but 2 clerics, a knight, and another armed man that is somewhat unusual, especially since there's 2 clerics in tow. So I think the people, as they enter the village, are kind of confused. Some of them start to hide. And how big is this village? Because I can probably roll for that, right? Where's the let's see, this is NPCs. I think this is on the encounter table. This is outdoors. Castle. Well, we don't have a castle here. Terrain. Well, there's marsh. I mean, I guess this is like a marsh. Oh, here we go. Type of settlement. So this is a D100, I think. 15. Okay, that would give us ruins. Well, I don't know. I mean, people could live in ruins. I mean, but I don't know what would be ruined. Well, let me roll and see what we get, and then we can probably make something out of this. Okay, so it's ruins. So we go and roll again. A ruined city in the marsh. How would that work? Okay, yeah, we can make something out of this. So, so as the boat enters, it is a marsh, and there are the marsh people who I will come up with a name for the culture in this world later. You know, they have built these kind of like artificial islands, you know, kind of like what the Aztecs did in Tenochtitlan, and kind of built up, you know, clay and straw huts to live in. But this is sitting on top of, they can see in the water like some kind of flooded ruins. They're pretty damaged, but they can see like just under the water in this marsh, like the ruins of foundations of a decently sized city. And in places, some of the marsh people have kind of start to build like platforms on top of those ancient stone foundations. But the inhabitation is pretty limited. Maybe there's a couple hundred people living in this particular town settlement. And as the boat enters, there's really nowhere for them to hide. So a boat rows toward them. And let's see who's on board. Let's come up with an NPC again. Okay, so let me just write this out. So at 1 p.m., All right. All right, let's see what kind of NPC we get here. So, alignment. Now, this is one I may have to change because, well, I don't know. I mean, the bandits could be in the village, but that doesn't necessarily mean everyone in the village is like evil, because the bandits are probably bad guys, you know. Chaotic good, okay. Maybe it's a woman because, you know, the men, most of the men are out. Yeah, we could say it's a woman actually. You know, and she's here to, you know, she's taking care of business. Well, you know, maybe her husband or whomever, other family are out, you know, fishing or being bandits. Okay, chaotic good. What should we name her? Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay, chaotic good. Possessions. Okay, well, possessions. All right, I'm just gonna say scant because probably, you know, you can't really accumulate a lot. Appearance. Mature. Okay, so she's probably like 40 or so, 30, late 30s or 40. And general, oops, 7, dandyish. Do you have a dandyish marsh folk? Yeah, probably. All right, let me just write out what have we got so far. Chaotic good. Mature age. Scant possessions. Actually, wait a second. Let's roll on the possessions because, I don't know. Maybe this woman is benefiting from the banditry in some way. That's a 9. Exceptional. Okay. So that could be interesting. What did we say? Okay, general kind of ragged. Oops. I don't know, Charles. That sounds fun. Like having multiple games set up. That way, you know, if you get kind of want to switch out to something different, you know, you can do it. All right, sanity. Maniacal. Okay, so if we roll again, okay, so we have to see if the second roll confirms this character's sanity. No, so normal sanity. Okay. All right, traits and tendencies. So we roll the first column. Moody. Personality. Friendly? Okay. Disposition. easygoing. Intellect, average. Okay. Nature, forgiving. Materialism, avaricious. Okay. Honesty, a liar. I don't know. Can you be like on the good spectrum in these games and be a liar? I mean, I guess you could interpret it. It's like sort of a tendency. I mean, someone could be like overall like a decent person, but just as prone to kind of like lying to get out of embarrassment, I guess, not for like kind of to manipulate people for something more malicious, but more out of like shame, I guess. All right, bravery. Brave, okay. Morals. Immoral, okay. Again, I don't know how you can be immoral and chaotic good, but okay. Well, we'll go with it. Piety, irreligious. Energy, normal energy. Thrift, thrifty, okay. Interests. Okay, so that's the first column, and then exotic animals, okay. All right, okay, so I think that's everything. Okay, so our marshfolk woman, she's probably like some kind of elder in the village, even though she's not that old. But marshfolk lady, lady Lady Eshtari. Because we have established base that she does have like a lot, so she's probably some kind of someone sort of important. In Turkic languages, they would say like hatun, but I don't know like Arabic, because that's kind of what I would think to use for these guys. But anyway, Lady Eshtari. So she rows up to the boat, and sees these two clerics. Probably doesn't recognize Imre, since she's irreligious. And, she's pretty immoral, yet somehow chaotic good. Anyway. And how does she react just to seeing this sight? And also she sees a knight and another guy of probably Ghazalian extraction, who's armed as well. How does she react to this? Let's see. 58. Uncertain, but prone toward positive. Okay, so I guess she's intrigued. This is a very unusual sight. What are these people doing? And so she rows up to the boat, alongside the boat, and she's skeptical but kind of intrigued, and she says, greetings. What brings you to this village? We only get merchants here. And Shandor and Lucian kind of look at each other, and Imre looks at them and sort of shrugs and says, basically he whispers, like, Imre says, like, well, we just need to get the artifact back, the relic back. Perhaps we haven't been assaulted yet. And Shandor, okay, are they preparing something? Is there a way we could maybe randomly generate that if there's some kind of encounter, or if they prepared something? Here's what I'll do. Well, we wouldn't really encounter like monsters here because this is like a patrolled settlement. Okay, I'll just roll and see if we get something. I'm going to roll on this one encounter table. Maybe there is some of the bandits are around, or maybe some armed men in the village that are, kind of preparing to attack. 68. That would give us like a monster on this one encounter table, so I'm going to say no. There's no humans preparing to attack. So it's just this woman. And they're kind of at the sort of mouth of the village area anyway. So I think it's Lucian. I think Lucian is more of a diplomatic sort, so he goes to the edge of the boat and he says, greetings, my lady, I'm brother Lucian, cleric, of course, and we would like to get this relic back. It has been stolen from the convent, and the brothers there would like it back. It is the relic of a Saint Danishmand, who founded the community, and please return it. And well, we have a identical object that could replace it, and he's kind of uneasy about doing this because even though it's not a real relic that they're giving, it's a fake one, and it's like he's kind of sweating a little bit, is pulling at his collar, of his clerical tunic, and so he's trying to convince her. So does he succeed? Well, wait, we got to check Lucian's charisma because I don't really think it's high. His charisma's 11, so that wouldn't give him a bonus, and it's not a prime attribute, so it's going to require. No, he does not succeed, and she looks at him and says, well, I don't believe in this superstition. Yes, I believe there is something like that here in the village, but there is nothing to this. This is, a trinket. And at this point, Imre and Lucian are both sort of upset at this. But Shandor kind of looks at them and says, we need to tread carefully, kind of thing. We don't know what's going on here fully. And at this point, Sia has been sizing up this woman, and he says, Brother Lucian, if I may, my name is Sia Bay. This object that you have, that is in this village, what if I could, trade for it, perhaps? My friend says we have an identical object, but, and he takes from his kind of like shoulder satchel, he takes out this bag of marbles that he bought, and he says, these fine glass crystal marbles, they can be energized. Now, you may not believe this, but just think, the people of the village, the simple people of your village, you could give these to them. What if, I don't know, in the place I come from, there's always the nagging sort of older woman of the village, the one, everyone knows her, and she's always kind of in everyone's business. But what if you convinced her that these marbles were charged with a great energy that could divine things? And now the clerics are really annoyed because, Sia is lying and playing sort of God, not God, but he's sort of playing with kind of superstition, even if it's pretend, it's not really good. And he says, look at these marbles. They're of the finest glass. I hand purchased them myself. I'm a dealer. I see you have this very fine robe on, my lady, and I see it's embroidered with gold coins. In fact, I know those coins. Those are from far in the east. These are those decorative coins that you have embroidered in your tunic. So I see you're a person of taste. And indeed, I could have some of my goods sent to you if you would help us. And so he does this. He's trying to convince her. Does it work? Let's see what our nomad can do. 17. Yes, that's a success. So, Lady Ashtari is sort of taken in by all this. And she sees the marbles that Sia is kind of like, not juggling, but like he's kind of like playing with them with his fingers, to try and make them glimmer. And she says, yes, I think I could do that. So please, you have my permission to enter the village with your boat, and I will take you to the shrine that we have set up, where this is located, and I think we can exchange it for this other object. And so they enter this marsh settlement, and as Sia had figured out earlier, it is mostly like the women and like the teenage boys, and then like the older people, men and women, that are staying in, doing the kind of daily tasks there. And they go to they follow Lady Eshtari's boat, and they enter, go to one island that's been built up in particular. Okay, I had this thought while I was doing this. What if they stole the relic because there's something evil here, and they stole the relic to stop the evil? Now, it doesn't mean the bandits are good guys, but they were they were behaving rationally. So maybe there's something bad here, and that's an interesting idea, so I'm going to go with it. So, but what kind of entity is here? Let's see. Maybe there's something, but it's probably not, because we've established this is like a ruined city. So maybe there will be a dungeon after all. But let me roll. I'm probably let me roll and see what kind of creature is here. Because after I roll this, I might wrap it up for the evening, because we've kind of played through a lot. Should be something bad. Well, I have to look at the Castles and Crusades guide, because the stuff that's in the D&D encounter tables doesn't necessarily match what they've got in Castles and Crusades. So let me this is the classic monsters table, so it's a Dark Stalker. Okay, I think I found... Yeah, this is interesting. Okay, the Darkstalker, though, it's just like deep underground, and we're in a marsh, so I don't really think you could get deep underground. But, let's see. Oh, okay. I know. I think I found something. So, uh, the they go to this hut that's been built, and in the hut, the relic has been well taken care of, but they've sort of put it in this shrine, which Brother Imre is sort of taken aback by. But they did steal it. I mean, so it is still theft. And they the but the relic is holding what looks like a stork in place in this like a spot, and it's kind of trying to lash out, but it's not able to move. But the eyes of the stork are sort of strange, and it has a kind of malevolent intelligence to it. So and so the Lady Eshtari says this relic has held this strange creature in place. It was terrorizing us, and one of the men of the village, one of the raiders, he decided that this may work. Many of us don't believe in such things, but some have been persuaded by this relic. But should you take this relic away, it will loosen this thing that's inside. So the party gets out of their boat. They go onto this artificial island that's been built, and inside this straw hut, not quite a hut, it's probably like 10 by 5 feet or something like that. It's probably a hut, but it's somewhat spacious. It's been built with like a high ceiling, and they've hung the relic from like a pretty nice rope, a cable, and they've painted or woven some other holy symbols of the church on the walls, but in a kind of crude way. But then this stork thing is sitting beneath the relic and seems arrested in place. And Shandor looks and says, well, why have you not struck it down? Why has anyone not just strucken this creature down? And Imre says that perhaps the relic does not permit the blood to be shed in its presence, but is protecting the village by holding this evil creature in place. And does anyone know what it is? I think that we will make a wisdom check. Probably Brother Imre would probably know something about what this creature is. So what does Imre know? His wisdom is 15, so it goes on +1. No, he does not remember. Well, he is anti-intellectual, so he does not know what this thing is. Does Sia know? He's actually pretty wise. He's a rogue. So, man of the hour this evening, yes. So, Sia looks at it and says, yes, I have heard stories in this region of such things. It's an Eblis. They look like storks, but they have They have an intelligence like men, and they can cast some kind of magic. And so the Eblis seems to know that that Sia is talking about it and kind of looks threateningly, and it's quite a large creature. And he says that they have a reputation for eating the flesh of humans, and that they are quite dangerous. So let me... I have to look at some magic items, magical treasure, poison. Probably need to go to the, spells. Okay, because I need to get some spells for this guy or this creature. So this is druid. Okay, wizard spells. So supposed to have what? How many? Need to roll 4d8 for its. Okay, let me... I think there's a typo in this book that I'm using that's got monsters. Because it says they can have 5 first level, 3 first level, and a second level, and say that the number of spell levels will be equal to 5. And I'm not sure if that's a typo, but okay. At any rate, I think I'll just pick some spells for it. Okay, and then let me draw a little battle map. So it's kind of in a small hut, but we are on a like artificial island. 6, 7, 8. Hang on a second. Sorry, you're not looking at anything interesting right now. Well, every square should be like 5 feet or something, right? Okay, so okay, we'll just say it's like a 15 by 15 hut. And our Eblis creature is in the middle. And then the island itself, they built 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. We'll just say it's like 6. We'll just say it's like 50 by 50 feet or something like that, roughly. Made out of like woven wood and dried grass. And it's, floating, partially floating, and then like maybe also pinned into these city ruins. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to switch to letters instead of colors for our characters. So we've got Shandor, Lucian, Imre, Sia, yeah, that's all 4 of our heroes. Okay. Zoom in slightly. Okay. And Lady Eshtar, Shandor says, please go back to your boat and get out of the area, and keep people away. And Imre prays like a sort of loosing prayer to say, he cuts the relic down and takes it carefully and says that I loose this space from holy protection, basically. And once he says those words, immediately, like the air in the room changes, and this giant stork creature looks malevolently and begins to attack. And now we go into initiative, so everybody gets a d10. So, all right, so let me make my handy dandy little chart. So we'll do EB for Iblis, S, L, I, and oh, we have two S's. Whoops. I'll do SY for our rogue. Okay, so all right, let's go ahead and do initiative. 7, 6, 10, 10. Oh, that's a 1. Whoops. I'm reading that wrong. Okay. That would have made the outcome of this combat quite different. Okay. And that's an 8. Okay. Okay, so what are we doing here? Okay, round 1. So we have Sia is up first, and as Brother Imre, as Imre was chanting this loosing prayer, everybody, sort of drew their weapons. Let me just see what I gave to our rogue, and he has his. He's got a scimitar, for 1d10. Okay, so he can't really move silently to like back attack exactly. So I think he, so he's going to try to swing with his scimitar, and that is a miss. So he swings wide, misses, and then the Iblis is going to try to cast a spell, and looking quite evilly, if that's a word, at the grass surroundings. He decides to it mumbles in this sort of inhuman language, and then it tries to spurt fire from its mouth. Okay, what do they need to do, though? What nature of magic? Okay. Does he need to roll a base to hit to cast a spell in combat? Why does the combat part of these rules not talk about magic? Oh, wait, here we go. No, that's for armor class. Okay. Am I missing something here? Spells. cast a spell. The magic section fully details how spells are cast and when they take effect. Okay. Sorry, this is I've never done this. Okay, gaining a level, learning and copying spells. Casting time. Most spells take 1 round to cast. Okay. Spell that takes 1 round to cast comes into effect during the target's initiative turn for that round. Complex spells may take more time. Okay, so I think if you're playing this at the table, like you have to declare you're casting a spell and then do the, and then it roll. Okay, so yeah, so the Eblis prepares to cast this, spurts fire from its mouth, and I need to go back to the spell list here. Burning flames. So, okay, so it spurts fire from its mouth, targets Sia, but doesn't really care, kind of probably just wants to try to burn down this whole structure. So it's going to be 1d2 plus 1 per level, so it counts as a 5th level caster. So, woof. Okay, so that would be divided by 2. So it's 2 plus 5 is 7. That might really hurt Sia, okay. But does he get a save? Let's see. Oops. Okay. 5 feet, instant duration, no saving throw. The spell is affected by spell resistance. Area of effect is a semicircle 5 feet long and 10 feet wide. Okay, so that does engulf 5 feet long and 10 feet wide. Okay, so that would hit both Sia and Lucian. I guess both for 7 damage. Okay, so the flames hit them, and that would... So Sia is now at... Because he only has 3 hit points, so he's now at -4 hit points. And then Lucian is at... I think he's not quite down for the count. Man, the characters in this campaign are really getting beat up, but I don't mind that so much because I prefer this to be kind of dangerous. Yeah, he's at -3 hit points, so yeah, -4 and -3 hit points. So I need to see what... are they dead or what? Hit points. -1 to 6. Okay, they're unconscious, grievously wounded. Okay, so they're still alive. Okay. So, all right, so that they're seriously wounded, and they're hit by the flames, and probably the grass is like starting to burn around them. The structure is starting to burn, and let's see, how long will it take for it to burn down? Let's do a D8 because this is like a grass structure. Okay, the flames will make the whole thing burn down in 3 rounds. So by round 4. Okay. So now, all right, that's the bad guy done, and Sia's turn done. Now Shandor. Okay, Shandor is of course he's got his sword drawn. He's going to try to strike this thing. And let's see, he has what's his bonus to hit? I think it would just be a 1, plus his strength bonus, which would be 1. Yeah, so he'd get 1 from his strength bonus, 1 from base to hit. So it's a +2. Yeah, okay. So Shandor will just strike at this thing and this Iblis, and 16 plus 2, so that's an 18. So he cleaves into it. Actually, no, the strength bonus I think is just damage. But 17 would still hit. So cleaves into it and cuts into its wings, and it screams, and that's minus 7, so... and then Imre is going to okay, so I think Imre... Okay, so the hut is burning. And I think Imre is going to... Let me see, because he's got some... I don't think he would do a healing spell in this situation. Yeah, I think he's just going to do a bless, and that's going to give everyone a +1 to hit. Basically, him and Shandor, +1 hit, +1 on saves against fear. And then that will be... yeah, so he says his blessing, and the divine power inspires Shandor, and then we do go to round 2. Now, I don't know if the mortally wounded guys, if we have to roll an initiative for them, because they're kind of out of combat, effectively. So I'm not going to roll for them, but I'll probably have to check that rule later. So, all right. Wait, let me roll the real d10, because I'm going to get confused again. Okay, so it's a 6 for our Eblis. Shandor, wait, no. Yeah, Shandor, and then Lucian is, Imre is a 3. So the angered Eblis is going to, what is he going to do? He will, since he's wounded, I kind of want to pull his punches because I want our guys to win, but this thing's pretty evil, so he's lawful evil, so he is going to, he really hates that the cleric did this blessing, and he is going to turn to him and will screech some kind of weird, it's guttural kind of language, and will fire a bolt of magic from it. So it's going to, and 1d4 plus 1. Oh, what is the spell resistance? Do human characters get that? Rogue, cleric. Does a cleric have some kind of spell resistance? I guess not. Okay, yeah, so it's going to fire this magic missile, and that will strike Imre for 4 hit points. Okay, I don't think he has a lot of hit points, so... Oh, no, he does. That's right, because he's a pretty tough cleric. Yeah, okay, so yeah, he takes... Yeah, that's right, because I made him a higher level character. I keep forgetting. Okay, so the magic bolt strikes Imre on like sort of square in the chest, and he staggers back and is wounded. He's breathing heavily, but he's not. He's still in the fight. And so he then it is Shandor's turn again. So Shandor is just going to try to strike, and he's got +1 from base to hit, +1 from bless. So it's a +2. And he misses with his sword strike. Okay, so that's round 2 complete. Now round 3. Let me use the other one because I'm going to get confused again. Okay. Uh-oh. Come on, Shandor. Nope. Imre. That's a 1. Okay. Okay. So, spells. Okay, so what does... I should probably declare the spells before initiative. I'm sure that's how you're supposed to do this procedure. But I am playing alone, so I guess maybe it's not as big a deal. Okay, so Imre is looking at the situation, and he wants to make sure he can rescue these guys from the fire. And I think at this point, so when it's his initiative, he's going to cast Endure Heat so he can carry Imre, Sia, and Lucian out of this hut. And when it's Shandor's initiative, he's going to back out like 10 feet. And Imre is going to cast this endurance spell because the next round this thing's going to burn down and like kind of be engulfed in flames. Yeah. So, but the Eblis will... What will it do? Okay, well, seeing that the aging cleric was not struck down immediately, the Eblis is going to cast Shock at Imre. 1d8 points of damage, +1 per caster level. Okay. Caster needs to simply touch their target. Okay, so must make a successful touch attack. How do we do that? Okay. Adjusted only for the dexterity of defenders and special modifiers, so Imre has an armor class of 17, or no, 10. And his dex bonus is 2, so that's a 12. So, okay, so let's see if this guy can get this Eblis. No, he does not succeed. So the Eblis tries to like fly up and touch Imre with his wing, but he's not successful. And Imre does the cold resist heat. He prays and he's able to resist the heat of the fire, and moves to rescue, to try and drag these two guys out. Probably by now this is burned up enough that he could just sort of be pushed out and drag them. What is this strength? Now this kind of thing isn't really in the combat rules, so I don't know how we would do this. But maybe I will just say on the next round he needs to make some kind of special maneuver. So Okay, let's do the next initiative. So that's 6. Okay, so the Eblis is going to fly up and just try to attack Shandor. So he's going to fly and reach Shandor and do a just attack with its beak. What is its base to hit? I guess it doesn't get like an attack bonus or anything, so he's just got to beat Shandor's armor class, which I think is fairly high. Armor class is 15, yeah. Nope. So pecks at him, but doesn't really even hit him. And then Imre is going to make a strength check to try and drag them away from the flames. And he is not successful, so he's still in there and in the fire, trying to pull these guys out. And then Shandor's turn. He's going to make an attack roll. And that would be +2 from both bonuses, so that's a hit. And that's and the Eblis is pretty grievously wounded by now, but still alive. And then we go to the next round. Hopefully this combat will end soon, because I've been going for a while. Okay, so that's a 1, a 3, and a 1. Okay, so Shandor is up first, and he's just going to keep striking this creature, and that doesn't hit. Eblis' turn. He's just going to try to attack Shandor again. Doesn't hit. And Imre, once again, going to try to drag these guys out of the combat area. And that is not a success. And, okay, I should probably roll to see if these guys took damage from the fire. So I'm just going to say it's D4 damage or D2 damage. Okay, so that's down to -6 HP. And also -5 HP. Okay. Still pretty grievously wounded. All right. But we'll say that the fire is probably dispersed enough that, yeah. Okay. Next round. Nice. Okay, so Shandor once again will attack, and that is not a hit. Imre, he's over here basically. he have a spell, maybe? Spiritual Warrior. Maybe that could help us here. Creates a weapon or shield. Oh, yeah, that's not quite. It's not like a ranged attack. Okay, so I think Imre will just use his move to. He's just going to be like stamping out the flames, kind of, and trying to protect them. And while he's doing that, he's going to cast... well, he used his Cure Light Wounds, I think, earlier in the day, so he can't do that. So he's just going to be, like, putting out the flames, basically. And then we will go to another initiative. Uh-oh. So that's 9, 5, 2. Okay. Eblis is going to melee attack Shandor and miss. Then Shandor will attack back, and that is also a... Now I'm going to roll again. Okay, that's a hit. And kind of cheesed that, so sorry. But okay, that's a hit. And that is 9, and that Shandor takes his sword out and just finally cleaves the head off this evil stork-looking creature, and it dies and it falls to the ground. And then, once that's over, he starts to help Imre put the fire out. At this point, some of the village people have come and with buckets of water and water, and they're putting the flames out and helping the adventurers. And I think that's a good place to stop, but I'm just going to take some notes on what time is it. Okay, so that was how many combat rounds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And each combat round is how long? I think it's what, like 65 seconds, or what is the time? Okay, each combat round is 10 seconds. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 7 rounds. It was like 1 minute. It's like 1 minute and 10 seconds. So it's like... So we'll say it's like probably around like 1:15 p.m. Okay, let me XP. Hmm. 100 plus 4. Why the plus 4? Okay. Yeah, some of these guys probably need to level up or are close, but I actually don't think so. I might have to check that. I mean, I could award them experience points for some of these other encounters, potentially. Or I could just arbitrarily say, they're going to go up a level, because they have been through a lot. Okay, but I think that's kind of a good place to... Oh, hi, Max. Unfortunately, I'm kind of wrapping it up for the evening, but I think that's a good place to stop. I think it's base XP plus XP per... Oh, that would make sense, Mike. Yeah, that makes sense, actually, Mike. So let me note that down. It was a pretty tough bad guy. So what's 4 times 17? That's what? 40 plus 28. So that's 68. So 168 XP. Okay. I think that's a good place to leave off. So what did we do today, just to kind of recap? So we did introduce this new kind of group faction. I think that word gets overused in gaming, but anyway, this new group. So we've got the Marsh people. We've helped the Marsh people. We got the relic back for the monastery. We defeated this evil creature that was kind of threatening them. But since these Iblis monsters do reside in like marshes and swamps, and they are intelligent, magical creatures, that could be an interesting idea to pursue. Maybe we'll encounter them again. But we are on a mission, to go to help out, go to the fort. So we still haven't even gotten to the fort, and that's like the whole point of this. Yeah, something like that, Mike. It's kind of thinking. I'm kind of thinking about them. Yeah. So, all right. So I think that's we did a lot this evening. 2 of our characters really took a beating, but I think I've come to expect that in this campaign. So our characters are probably gonna, they got off the boat. You're not supposed to get off the boat, but they have to go do the help people out. So, all right. So I think that's enough. I think this was a good session. Like I said, like every time, the NPC generation, that helps me a lot doing this. Same thing with the encounter tables, that's really useful. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, at least we have a more experienced cleric now that can give healing spells. I don't think he's gonna stay with them for like the whole time, but he is a contact they have now at least, and we've established that this place is, within like a few days' journey of the fort, by boat at least. So they do have someone with them that's a little bit more effective at healing and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's the stream, I think, for this evening. Don't really. I do need to add up the experience points between all the encounters we've had. I mean, they have used their like other abilities outside of combat that's probably worth XP, but I don't have the Castle Keeper book, so I don't know how that's adjudicated exactly. Like I said, I might just kind of be cheesy and have everyone go up a level for everything that's happened so far. But I'll think about that and see what I do. Okay. Well, I'll talk to you all later. Thanks for watching as always. And have a good evening, good night. See y'all later.